On a stormy night, Ma finds himself engrossed in his phone when suddenly electricity of his apartment building goes out. His senior orders him to go to the rooftop and check the circuit. Ma, cursing his senior under his breath for giving him such a hard time, swallows his pride and goes to the roof. As he reaches for the door to the roof, Manavis says that the door is already unlocked. He bursts through the door fearing that there might be robbers on the other side. Ma stops in his tracks as he finds a girl movie floating above him. She takes a brief look at him before lightning hits her, rendering her unconscious as she falls to the ground. Ma rushes to her side, in his state of uncertainty. Ma anxiously attempts to give her CPR, but soon Muzi wakes up, thinking that he is taking advantage of her. Muzi slaps him across the face and leaves. On her way back, Muzi starts to feel oddly weak. On the other hand, Ma is unable to fall asleep because of a high fever. The next day, Ma is having breakfast out in a park when he notices that his senses are sharper than usual. He looks up and sees Muzi walking across the street. A young master with his butler tries to woo her, but she completely ignores him. Suddenly, a billboard across the street comes loose and falls straight toward a woman. Ma quickly jumps to her aid and extends his arm, knocking the billboard away with spiritual power, and falls unconscious. Upon waking up, Ma finds himself tied to a bed with Muzi standing over him. She tells Ma what he stole from her and draws out a magical sword, saying that he has no idea what she's talking about. Muzi tells him that he took half of her powers last night when he tried to do the CPR. She tells him to either hand them back by dying, or he can cultivate with her, which will eventually lead both of them to become immortal. Muzi leads Ma to the pinnacle of a towering hotel, expressing her intention to embark on a training session. As they reach the edge of the rooftop, Muzi encourages Ma to take a leap with conviction. Muzi explains that humans often tap into their latent abilities when confronted with imminent peril. Ma trembles with fear, doubting his ability to proceed, yet he inches closer to the precipice. Muzi grabs him by the collar, telling him that he has only one chance, and pushes him off the building. Realizing that he has no idea what to do, Ma starts to panic. He tries everything to use his powers, but nothing happens. Nobody won't make it. Ma accepts his fate and prepares to die. Suddenly, Muzi, who had jumped right after him, grabs him with a surge of power coursing through his wings. Unfurling from his back, propelling him skyward, filling him with uncontrollable laughter, he joyfully declares to Muzi that they no longer need a plane for their travels. As Muzi witnesses his overwhelming joy, she abruptly pulls him down to the ground, reminding him of the imperative need to conceal his true identity. Since modern-day cultivators will start to hunt him if they get to know about his powers. Meanwhile, Yui is with her master when they feel Ma's presence. Yui's master tells her to quickly locate the weak cultivator and kill him. The following day, Maestro was alongside Muzi when the young master catches sight of them exiting a hotel in each other's company. He's utterly astounded by the fact that Muzi chose a complete stranger over him, prompting him to confront Ma and challenge him to a fight. However, Muzi intervenes and swiftly slaps the young master, firmly asserting that only she has the right to beat up Ma. Yui arrives at the park where Ma works and starts her investigation. Knowing how men are so easily controlled by lust, she tries to use herself to draw Ma out. As men start to fall for her, Yui decides to go on a date with each of them individually, trying to sense their spiritual energy to locate Ma. But she is met with failure each time. Yui sulks for a moment with disappointment but realizes that the person she's after might not be interested in women. So she decides to make a website and cosplay as a boy to bait him. Later that night, Ma's roommate is surfing the internet when he stumbles across it and falls under Yui's charm. He gets up from his chair like a zombie and walks out of the room. Worrying for his safety, Ma decides to follow him. Yui, who is waiting in the park, notices the senior approaching and uses her powers to sense if he has any magical energy but gets disappointed. She knocks him into the air in a fit of rage, but Ma, who was just behind him, flies into the air and catches him. He quickly realizes that Yui is a cultivator. After making sure his roommate is out of danger, Ma tries to quickly run to Muzi for aid but gets hit by Yui's seduction charm. She leads him to a rooftop before dispelling the charm. As Ma comes back to his senses, Yui tells him that she's going to kill him and draws out a flaming magical weapon. Ma, realizing that he needs to escape, distracts Yui and tries to fly away quickly, but Yui pops up right behind him. She grabs him by his pants and throws him back onto the roof, pulling his pants off. She prickly tries to attack Ma, who's trying to cover himself, when suddenly Muzi appears and blocks her attack. She looks at Ma and gets disgusted that he took his pants off in front of another girl and tells him to quickly dress up. Muzi uses her telepathic powers to subtly communicate with Ma, urging him to steer clear of the impending conflict. She tells him to remember that she told him that if he challenges someone who is at a higher cultivation level than him, he will surely perish. She tells him that it will be difficult to bring her down if he's there and tells him to run away. Yui is able to feel both of their power levels and easily notices that they are talking to each other telepathically and quickly attacks Muzi. As Ma makes a run for his life, Muzi tries her best to hold her off but fails. Yui easily gains the upper hand and knocks her down. Ma, who's running away, realizes that Muzi alone won't be able to hold her off on her own. He curses himself for running away and quickly runs back to her aid. As soon as he gets back, Ma notices that Yui is about to kill Muzi. He quickly jumps in front, shielding Muzi from Yui's weapon. Yui gets jealous of their mutual bond and kicks them apart, telling Muzi that she will join him soon. Ma suddenly wakes up in an odd spiritual world where he sees Lee standing over him. Seeing that Ma has noticed the weapon in his hand, Dark Sky Lee realizes that he must be the cultivation partner of one of his descendants. He throws a necklace toward Ma, telling him that they are team beads. He then tells Ma that he will help him out in defeating Yui by taking over his body. They will have only 1 minute to do it. A magical aura erupts around Ma in the outside world, knocking Yui back. Yui looks at Ma, completely shocked by how much he has changed and how his spiritual power is skyrocketing. She realizes that she will die if she fights him and staggers because Ma somehow appears stronger than her master. She gathers up her courage and attacks Ma with a fire whip, but he blocks her attack with his fingertip and shatters it. Realizing that she cannot win, Yui accepts her fate and jumps off the building. But Ma catches her, telling her not to be a sore loser. He takes her back to the rooftop where she pushes him away and quickly leaves. As Yui leaves, Muzi takes Ma back to her room and asks about his sudden surge of power. But Ma has no idea how to explain it. Muzi puts it off, saying that it must be her family powers that gave him a boost and co-cultivates with him to tell him about her past. Ma wakes up in a field and sees young Muzi clinging to him. A portal beneath them erupts, smaller than both. When he makes it across to the other side, Ma notices that he is in a burning village and a man with red hair is slaughtering everyone. As they both return to the real world, Ma realizes that Muzi is actually out for revenge. He promises to himself that no matter what, he will protect her. In response, Muzi tells him that she is trying to get her hands on her ancestor's weapon, Dark Sky. Once she has it, she knows she will meet the man who killed her family and finally avenge them. Realizing that he still has to attend his night shift and patrol the park, Ma quickly runs back to his room where he is shocked to see Yui sitting on his bed. Ma asks Yui what she is doing here, to which she tells him that she has no other place to stay for the night. Ma thinks for a moment and agrees to let her stay for a while. The next day, a massive line of men waits outside the apartments, trying to ask Yui out on a date. Yui, who is annoyed by the fact that her charm spell is still in place, notices Muzi coming out of a building. Suddenly, a car drives up to them and the young master steps out, asking Muzi out on a date again. When she ignores him, Ma, who's going about his business, stops to greet them. But Yui quickly clings to him, making everyone, especially Muzi, jealous. While Yui and Muzi fight over Ma, the young master watches from a distance, swearing that he will have his revenge. For the rest of the day, both Muzi and Yui follow Ma around, trying to win him over. But Ma only wishes to somehow make it out of this situation alive. The next day, Ma buys an apology present for Muzi and takes it to her. On his way to meet up with her, he runs into the young master who had gathered a lot of local men, all of whom were angry at Ma for stealing their women. They all pounce on Ma, but Yui and Muzi, who are just having a walk, quickly jump to his aid and beat everyone up. As the young master huffs to his butler and cries about his bad luck, Ma quickly rushes over to the present he had dropped in the heat of battle. He then gives the present to Muzi, which is just a pair of chicken dolls, but it makes her really happy seeing them both together. Yui thinks that it's best for her to leave, as Ma notices Yui walking away. He remembers how lonely he used to be just a few months back. He looks over at Muzi, who gives him her approval, and he quickly rushes over to Yui, telling her to stop. He tells her that they can still be friends and extends his hand out, but Yui slaps it away, telling him that she was going to kill him just 2 days ago and that she had her own selfish reasons for trying to get close to him. Realizing that she's after protection, Ma tells her that he's willing to protect her if she wants, just like he promised Muzi. Yui pulls away from Ma and runs away before he can chase her. Muzi stops him, telling him to leave her alone for now. Yui realizes that she has failed her mission and that her master will kill her. But she still returns back to him and notices that he is carrying the bodies of 2 students. When questioned about the completion of her mission, Yui candidly admits to him that she found Ma to be overwhelmingly formidable and beyond her ability to handle. He tells her not to worry, as after eating these 2 students, he'll break through again, and in 10 days, he will be able to kill them both and absorb their blood to reach the late stage. Later that night, Yui calls Ma to meet her privately. As soon as he arrives, Yui begins to attack him, but Ma doesn't even lift a finger at her. When she asks why he's not fighting back, Ma tells her that it's because she's his friend, making her cease her attacks. After things settle down, Muzi, who's watching from a corner, comes over to them. Yui musters up the courage to reveal the unsettling truth with a determined voice. She discloses that her master's spirit has been unshackled, and he is coming to kill them all. A long time ago, little Yui used to live in a small village in the countryside. Despite not having any human friends, her spirits remained high thanks to a unique friendship she shared with a snake girl dwelling in the nearby mountains. Even though the other kids bullied her for having a monster as a friend, she was more than capable of fighting back and protecting her friend's name. One day, an old man appeared in the market, telling everyone their fortunes. The man calls Yui over to read her fortune, but she ignores him and runs away. She didn't get far when the man tells her telepathically to be wary of the snake girl tonight. She quickly makes her way to her friend's cave, where she notices that it is covered in blood. Fearing the worst, Yui runs back to the village, only to find it completely destroyed and all the people, including her parents, dead. She grabs a stick and heads back to the cave to kill her only friend. On her way there, she runs into an old man, a cultivator, who hands her a dagger to use instead, as it will be more useful. Yui enters the cave and finds the snake girl already injured. She prickly gets up when she sees Yui approaching her, but Yui closes her tearful eyes and thrusts the dagger into her heart. The snake girl, however, wipes away her tears and gives her one last hug before dying. Having no one else to turn to, Yui returns to the old man and begs him to save the villagers. But the man refuses, saying that he cannot intervene in the judgment passed by the heavens. Seeing that Yui has no place left to go, he asks her if she wants to be his disciple. He will teach her how to cultivate and become an immortal, so that her heart will not be in pain anymore. Yui had blindly followed her master since that day until she found out about his fiend art, in which he ate other cultivators to increase his power. Yui tells them that it will be difficult to take him on once he reaches his late core stage. Therefore, it's best if they attack him first. Ma asks if they can just run away, but Yui tells them that it's not possible, as her master will be able to track them down eventually. When Muzi asks if they will be able to defeat him if they all work together, Yui tells her that there might be a chance since his fiend art has a fatal flaw. According to his research notes that she stole, he can be vulnerable while using it. So they can set up a trap for him. When they are finally alone in their hotel room, Muzi tells Ma that the last time they co-cultivated, she saw a ball of his spiritual energy. It resembled someone from her family, but it was far more powerful. She explains to him that he can manifest this energy into a weapon if he draws out some blood. Muzi then slices Ma's palm and lightly touches it with her energy. Suddenly, a girl with green hair bursts forth, calling Ma her master. She tells him that she is his weapon, but he's still too weak right now. He needs to use her properly, and he can only The next day, the young master hires 2 cultivators to take out Ma and attack him instantly as soon as he steps out. Muzi and Yui extend their assistance, but they are taken aback as the cultivators swiftly approach and stare at them, leaving them trapped. Both cultivators pin Ma to the ground, telling him that his life will end here today. Suddenly, Ma's weapon manifests and knocks both of them, dispelling their spell. It entraps Yui and Muzi. She then follows Ma's orders and instantly defeats the 2 cultivators. Yui takes a closer look at the girl who's Ma's weapon, finding it somewhat hard to believe that someone with a soul can be a weapon. Upon inquiring about the girl's name, she responds by revealing that she does not possess one. They all think for a while and decide to call her Linger since that would make things a lot easier. Both Yui and Muzi take their leave, telling Ma that they need to prepare for their fight against the master. After they leave, Ma thinks that they have no confidence in him and Linger agrees, telling him that he's far too weak as of now to help anyone. In response to his inquiry about accelerating his strength growth, Linger promptly opens a portal, transporting him to the enigmatic realm of the spirit world. She tells him that she can easily defeat the master, who is at the core formation level, but with Ma's current abilities, he will have to sacrifice her to gain enough power. When Ma disagrees to do something like that, Linger tells him the last option of simulating his cheat so that he can use his powers more freely, but it will be painful. She takes off his shirt and places her hands on his back, slowly guiding him on how to manage his chi. Ma is suddenly hit with massive electric shocks, but he grits his teeth and bears it. All hours go by, and Linger keeps injecting Ma with her spiritual energy. By the time she's done, Ma is completely exhausted. When Linger asks how he's feeling, Ma tries to use some of his spirit energy and realizes that it is far easier for him to use his powers now. A spirit tree, which had been lying dormant for a while, suddenly wakes up when it senses Ma's spiritual energy and attacks them without warning. Fearing that the tree might kill him, Ma raises his hands slightly and shoots out a massive fireball that rips through the spirit tree, killing it instantly. Linger congratulates him, telling him that he can now fully use low-level arts and that they will be more effective since his level has been increased. Ma gets a message from Muzi telling him to quickly meet her as there is something she needs to get before they launch the attack. Upon finally meeting up, Muzi takes Ma and Linger to an adult store, telling them that it is a cover cultivation shop. They enter the shop, and Muzi gets instantly taken to see the boss because she needs to purchase a necklace from him. Muzi hands Ma some crystals so he can buy something for himself while he waits. The hostess, seeing that Ma is a newbie, tries to bait him and Linger to spend their money on useless items. She takes them both to a back room that is filled with boxes and tells them that each box is 50 crystals and has a weapon in it. They can buy as many boxes as they like, but it's up to their luck to pull a good weapon. While Ma goes around trying to find a box, Linger points to a dusty box, telling the hostess that they will purchase this one. Inside is nothing but a rusty dagger called Dragon Blood. The hostess, thinking she just made a profit, quickly sells the item to them. Once they depart, the hostess joyfully informs her boss about the successful sale of a worn-out dagger, only to witness his sudden collapse and agony upon realizing the priceless value of the very dagger. UV returns to her master, who is almost done devouring his prey. He inquires about her mission's success, but she disappointingly admits her failure. In a fit of anger, her master accuses her of colluding with Ma and Muzi, plotting his demise. He claims to have disguised himself as a park janitor, overhearing their plans. In an aggressive move, he lunges at Yui. She skillfully evades his attacks and successfully escapes. Meanwhile, Ma is busy examining his amazing dagger that causes blood corrosion when Linger tells him that the weapon has a sealed spirit that Li had entrapped within it. Ma might not be able to fully utilize its power, but it's still good. Ma takes the dagger and injects it with spiritual energy, causing the dagger to make clones of Ma with the ability to freely move his soul between them. They suddenly get Yui's message that she is being chased by the master. They all get ready to leave, but Muzi stops Ma, asking if he really wants to risk his life fighting for Yui. As Muzi observes his unwavering determination, she places a necklace around his neck, cautioning him to stay vigilant while heading towards Yui. A sense of unease washes over Ma. Meanwhile, Master finally catches up to Yui and goes straight for a killing blow, but suddenly he gets attacked by Muzi, Linger, and many clones of Ma. They don't give Master any time to react and attack him straight away, but he quickly forms a shield around himself, blocking all their spiritual attacks. Seeing that spiritual attacks have no use on him, Ma decides to use a physical one. He leaves it Master, disguising his dagger in spiritual energy and successfully lands a hit, surprising Master. Master gets annoyed that a weakling like Ma was able to land a hit on him. He quickly grabs Ma by the neck and snaps it in half, but Ma quickly transfers his soul to another clone. Seeing that he is able to move around quickly, Master activates his Fian blood art, making a massive black hole. Everyone starts to get pulled into it, their spiritual energy and blood slowly draining. Ma quickly summons Linger, who is able to shield them from Master's attack. Master is taken aback by the fact that Ma has a live spiritual weapon. Linger quickly forms a barrier around everyone and tells Ma to retreat because she will only be able to keep Master at bay for 2 hours. Master, who had already realized that Linger won't be able to use her full potential, starts to attack her barrier relentlessly. Ma quickly retreats with Muzi and Yui and calls back Linger. They quickly set up a trap to ambush Master, who is right behind them. As soon as he reaches them, Yui activates a trap, staggering Master for a moment. They quickly take the opportunity to attack him, but he easily repels them. For some reason, Master seems even stronger than he was just a few moments ago. He laughs, telling Yui that he knew that she was going to betray him eventually, so the text she stole from him were heavily modified. The trap she just used now only made him stronger. Seeing that they are no match for him, Muzi tells them all to run. Master tries to follow them, but Ma summons Linger again to hold him back for a moment. Master realizes that his food will escape him, so he uses his last resort. He contacts Yui telepathically, telling the truth about what happened in her village years ago. He tells her that he was only tracking down a snake for its spirit core near her village and unexpectedly ran into her. From the moment he laid eyes on her, he knew that she had a great aptitude for cultivation. So, to make things easier for himself, he injured the snake girl before disguising himself as her and attacked the village, killing everyone. Once that was done, he and Yui killed the snake in his place. That way, he got the spirit core, and no one was there to stop her from becoming his disciple. Yui quickly turns back and goes straight to kill him, but he easily blocks her attack. Ma, who had seen Yui going back, had thrown his dagger to follow her, which manages to hit Master right in the chest. Making him mad that Ma was able to fool him with such a weak art. He raises his hand to the sky and causes a nearby plane to sway off course and head straight toward them. After the passengers jump off the plane, Muzi flies straight toward it and uses her powers to take control of the plane and change its course toward Master instead. But he blocks the plane just before it hits him. Realizing that Muzi's power will make him ascend, Master releases his lightning attacks as Muzi runs toward him with her sword drawn. He uses massive lightning bolts to throw her back. Ma, who was right behind Muzi, quickly catches her, telling her to lend him her powers. He grabs her hand, making both their powers merge, making Muzi's weapon even stronger, and rushes toward Master with incredible speed. He tries to attack them again, but the necklace around Ma's neck protects him from his attacks. They both swing the sword together, slicing Master's arm clean off. Master, who is in shock at having his arm sliced off, gets enraged. The couple of weaklings like them have caused him this much damage. He activates his blood art once more, forcefully pulling out blood from their bodies and starts absorbing it through his sliced arm. Linger tries to shield them from his attack again but runs out of spirit energy and returns to Ma. Ma pulls out his dagger once more to fight, but Master uses his psychic abilities to make it fly out of his hands and slice him instead. He looks at Muzi, telling her that he'll end her life first and uses his powers to pull her toward himself. He then grabs her by the neck and snaps it in half. Ma completely loses it and tries to attack Master, but he easily knocks him back. Ma starts to feel a burning sensation from where the dagger just cut him, realizing that the dagger causes blood to corrode. He calls forth Li's power and uses the dagger to draw out his blood, corroding it just before Master absorbs it. Master's entire body quickly starts to rot. He looks up and sees Ma shooting straight toward him and tries to defend himself, but Ma pushes the dagger through his body with lightning-fast speed, engulfing him in flames before he draws his last breath. Master curses Ma for all of eternity while Yui takes a breath of fresh air. Ma quickly runs to Muzi's side, calling out the Elder God. An eye suddenly appears in front of him, impressed that Ma was able to feel his presence. The Elder puts forth a demand. He tells Ma that he will bring back Muzi for only 3 years, and in that time, he has to seek him out and hand over the Hun tea and beads. After which, he will resurrect her fully. He also warns Ma that if he fails to do it, he'll take away Muzi's life. Not wanting to lose even a single moment with her, Ma agrees to do as he says. Later, Muzi takes a blindfolded Ma to his secret location. Upon taking off the blindfold, Ma witnesses a beautiful vast green field of flowers, with Muzi standing next to him. Subsequently, she discloses her nostalgic connection to this place, reminiscing about her visits alongside her departed mother. After a short heartfelt moment, Muzi kisses Ma. The end. Check also our other videos.